see? Can you see?
Yeah. What are you thinking about?
The Emily story. Of her being crushed by the bar.
It was so
What?
funny.
He was looking at his smile.
I wish I came out. Where is it? I don't know. Just like when Emily tripped and fell.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Miranda, you could lift the bar, couldn't you?
Huh?
Did you have to spot her to get back up?
Yeah, we were laughing at something, so she got really weak, and then it just landed on her.
And her legs were?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that made her laugh more.
Yeah.
Did she like just lean over and like dump it off? No, picked it up.
I don't look at it.
It's only 45 pounds. It's not. It's gonna crush
Is
you.
there no
Did she get it up?
Is there nothing else on it, just bar? For
Did she get it back
bar?
up?
No, I didn't hear
Miranda
it.
had to spot her. Okay, what's the pattern on number 1?
Plus 4.
Plus 4. So
9 and 13.
9 and 13.
24, -8.
What's the pattern on 2?
Divide by -8.
No.
Divide by negative.
Dividing by -2. That switches it from positive to negative to positive.
Not using back to the book?
So -32 divided by -2.
Not using back to the book?
16 divided by -2.
Let's go. We got
Can it not alternate -8 also?
Huh?
It could also be -8.
No.
What? Oh.
Dividing by
It could also be -8.
No.
We would not have to.
Who said that?
I did.
Oh, sorry. It's like an echo. I was coming from this table. Alright, can you guys see 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Right if then form.
Not at the moment.
Well, I'd say hopefully these are a couple freebies, but usually a lot of people miss number 4. Because it, yeah, it's backwards basically. Everybody gets 3 right there. Alright. This should probably be which. Okay, how do we write number 3? If what? You could start by, you kind of have to throw in an object. If the animal's a turtle or if it's a turtle, it's fine. You kind of have to throw in an object to make the sentence make sense. If the animal is a turtle, then it's a reptile. why is number 4 tricky?
Because you can do all.
Does freezing cause it to go below 32, or does going below 32 cause it to freeze? You guys follow that? Does freezing cause it to go below 32, or does going below 32 cause it to freeze?
Goes below 32.
Right. So this is dependent on this. So if the temperature is below 32 degrees, then a freeze occurs.
So you can't put it the other way around.
It makes sense the other way around, but it's saying something different. Okay. Freezing doesn't cause it to go below 32. Going below 32 causes it to freeze. When it says when the temperature is below 32, so this depends on this happening. So if the temperature is below 32 degrees. You guys remember the subsets? What does N stand for? Natural, whole, integers, rational, irrational. Naturals, 1, 2, 3, 4, wholes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, integers, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Rationals are anything that can be written as an integer over an integer, as a fraction, and irrational is anything else, which is basically infinite non-repeating decimals. So number 5 is a what?
It's a natural
No,
Whole.
no.
integer?
Natural and wholes do not include negatives, so it's an integer. And if it's an integer, it's also a rational. Yeah, all 4 of these sets would be rational. Subsets of rationals. Okay, number 6, 8 over 2 is, what's 8 over 2 equal? 4. So 4 would be a natural whole. Is it an integer?
Yes.
Did you say
8 divided by 2 equals 4. So yeah, I kind of didn't mean to do that, but number 9 would be the same. All right, number 7, 3/4 is a what? It's rational. That's all. Integers, whole numbers, naturals do not include fractions. 0.6 repeating, we haven't talked about this one as much. You guys know what that is?
Is right.
No, all repeating decimals, 0.6 repeating is actually 2/3. All repeating decimals are fractions. There is some fraction there equal to, so it is rational. I mentioned it when we were going through the sets, but I don't think it came up on the homework. Number 9, I'll skip that one. 10,
Whole.
the whole,
rational
rational,
and integer?
integer, yeah, I should have done that next.
Why is that not a natural? Oh, 0,
Natural starts at 1. Okay, number 11, square root of 8,
Irrational.
irrational. Square root of 8 does not equal 4. It's equal something weird. skipped it because it's the same as number 6. I accidentally did that. Alright. You guys remember which one, what did conjunction mean?
And
And. So disjunction was or. They are in alphabetical order. Conjunction comes before disjunction. And comes before or. No thanks. Glenn World's tiniest trumpet. So, yeah. Okay, number 12. A dog is a mammal and a herbivore. That is a conjunction because the and. Is it true or false?
False.
False because not both of them are true.
What's a herbivore?
Plant eater.
Oh.
Carnivore, herbivore, omnivore. You guys probably heard that. 13. A dog is a mammal and or a herbivore.
D.
Disjunction.
True or false?
True because one of them is true. Is disjunction false or true? Disjunction true.
It negates everything.
Yeah, you guys need to have these memorized too. Converse, inverse, contrapositive by condition. On the test, this is like matching, but
How many questions are over there?
like, I didn't count, but it's probably like 30 something.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Well, yeah. It's kind of a lot. It might be 4 minutes even. But when there's more questions like that, that means you can miss more. Or each question worth less, yeah.
It says converse is negated, or does it only change the order?
This changes the order.
What is inverse here?
Inverse negates.
So it does the other way
And
around.
it uses 2 knots.
Yeah, it uses 2 knives. That's what negate means. So, converse switches the if and then clause, first and last, so if it pours, then it rains. Inverse does not switch the order, but it negates both of them. So if it isn't raining, Contrapositive does both, switches the order and negates. So if it isn't pouring, then it isn't raining. Okay, what's the biconditional do?
If and only if.
It doesn't start with if. It's connected by if. It rains if and only if it pours. So what that means is if one of them's happening, the other's happening. It's like saying the original and the converse at the same time. That's a key phrase. Okay. Now on to a little bit of angle math stuff. Fun with angles. Oh boy. Alright, did you guys get most of them? Still working on it?
Yes, she's in.
Got 'em all?
Yes,
Ow.
I'm pretty sure.
Don't do it yet.
Pretty sure we'll find out. Probably the last one's the hardest. Kind of goes from easier to harder. Yeah, well, if I count each of these as a individual question, which I actually might, yeah, there's a lot of questions on this test.
Okay.
So that means each one might only be worth 2 or 3 points.
Which means, how much is the test?
Well, 100-point test, like,
Oh,
percentage point is what I meant.
E. I'm stupid. Wait, it's, what am I looking at?
Okay, did you guys see the M down here? It's kinda,
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Oh, it's 23 degrees.
okay, angle FMA has to be a 90. Because two adjacent angles that are a linear pair have to add up to 90. Or have to add up to 180, so they both have to be 90. You can kind of tell, you can't always trust this in geometry. You can kind of tell when the angles are the same and not, but you're supposed to use other tricks to know, but if you have to guess, might as well just guess on based on what it look like. Angle BMD.
23.
Now,
42 plus 26.
BMD.
65.
Right, these two together from year to year. So it's 42 plus 23 is 65. Oh, no. Okay, angle AMB. AMB. That would be this angle right here.
90 minus 42.
Right, together these two make 90. So 90 minus 42 will give you the leftover.
48.
Okay, angle FME. This one down here. So what's that? I heard somebody say the answer. What's that one?
42.
Why, how do we know it's 42?
Because those are the same.
Vertical angle.
Oh, crap. I looked at your reasoning and it made sense.
AKA copy.
No. It's like checking your answers and seeing what you did wrong.
And then putting the other person's answer.
Yeah.
If they're not assuming.
Well, if you agree with their
And then
answer,
assuming there's a strategy.
well, I looked at it.
I'm just joking.
Mr. Jordan's not teasing.
Yeah, you're a cheater.
Class.
Alright.
F M E and C M D are the same. Those are the same.
Did you guys see Whitley? She had braids and moccasins. And I said,
You had moccasins?
well, I didn't say anything, but they knew what I was getting at. Whitley.
Oh, Whitley.
But
Wow.
she's like, you trying to be Native American? She's like, oh, I do have a card.
Emily had a card and she didn't know she was Native American.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that too. That's what came up next. Emily has a card and she didn't know she was Native American. She didn't know what Native American meant. She didn't know that.
I said, are you Native American? She's like, I don't know. I mean, I do have an Indian card.
All right. Angle CME. CME.
I
See?
don't know how I got this.
Anybody?
Is it 115?
I got 138 degrees.
Yeah, I got 138.
Okay, it is 138. How'd you get it though?
I did 42 plus 23.
I did 42 minus 180 because
180 minus 42. So the angle we just got is 42, right?
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And this is what we're looking for, angle EMC. So these two together should make 180.
I was right.
So 180 minus
I
42.
did it way
There is another way to do it, but over here, you could also use this 42. These make a straight angle as well, but it's 180 minus 42. Okay, next.
Mr. I'd like to point out I got that right, but then James cheated.
I did not cheat. I just compared answers and told him how I thought it, and then he changed it.
Because it's a bait sense.
So if anything, he's in the wrong.
James.
I did nothing wrong.
Why do I hear
They're watching Netflix?
How could you tell? I mean, how can you tell? Just by.
Because it's
Heard
like
the
the
noise.
noise. It's like.
That's it sounded.
Maybe-
What was that?
I didn't have that.
That seems to happen a lot. Yeah. Was a mistake. Okay, so on this one, what do I know about these two angles? Together they make 90. So x plus 6 plus 2x minus 3 equals 90. And you do some algebra, add your like terms together. We're going a little bit slow. Trying to give you guys time, but maybe a little too much. Okay, anyways, when you subtract 3 and divide by 3, you should get x is 29. And what should we do with that?
Plugging into
Plug
there.
Plug in. So angle ABD is this top one, so 29 plus 6 is 35 degrees. Now, for the bottom angle, we could plug in 29, but what else could we do?
35 minus 49 minus.
Right, 90 minus this would give us this one also. Or you could plug 29 in, doesn't matter. So 90 minus 35. Okay, have you guys looked at this one too? What do we know about these two angles? They're the same. Because if the ray is an angle bisector, that means the big angles cut into two equal angles. Okay. Anyways. So on this one it's 3, they don't add up to 90 or anything, but they're equal to each other. That one equals that one. And what's the first step algebraically? Distribute. So 3x minus 12 equals 2x plus 10. What do we do when there's x's on both sides? Give the one, subtract 2x, subtract 2x. So we get x minus 12. I don't know, x minus 12 equals 10. So x is 22. What do I do with that? Plug it in. So 22 minus 4 is 18. 18 times 3 is 54 degrees. Now, if they asked us for the bottom angle, what would this angle have to be? 54 as well, because these two angles are equal. But they're asking us for angle EFG, which is the big angle. The picture does not match the answer. That happens sometimes. But if this is 54, this is 54, so the big angle is 54 times 2. It's underneath. Are you going to ace it? What's the hardest part so far?
I don't know.
The part I'm most concerned about actually is the...
Sentences?
No. I'm sure we'll do
The
okay.
bonus ponens is 7.
No, I didn't put bonus ponens on here.
On the
It's on
test?
this
Is it on the test?
That's what I mean, on the test.
Yeah.
That was the part where I was most wondering.
You know,
Tolerance.
give yourself and myself a break by not having to grade that. Yeah, that might have been our worst assignment. Bonus ponens, bonus tones.
It was.
Like grade wise. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually 21 is pretty much the same. M is the midpoint. So what do I know about these two segments? If M is the midpoint of segment AB, what do I know about these two?
AM and MB are the same.
Right, they're the same. So this equals that, just like number 20. If M is in the middle, the two parts on the sides are the same. Therefore, they are equal. I think I might skip the algebra on this one just for time's sake, but it's the same steps as the last problem. Plus, it's probably a messy fraction because I just threw some numbers together. One on the test, probably not a fraction. All right, 22. If M is the midpoint of segment AB, find the coordinate of A. If M equals 32, B equals 87. What do you think this means? M equals 32.
Measurement.
No. That would be the coordinate of the midpoint and the coordinate of point B. Okay, so on this one, I strongly recommend you draw a picture to help you out. So segment AB, M is the midpoint, and it's at 32, and B is at 87. So how do I find the coordinate for A?
8 is 8 plus 8
No, how far is it from there to there?
You would subtract it.
You would subtract.
So 55?
Right, 87 minus 32 is 55. Then what do I do with the 55?
Keep it on the other side.
Okay, it's 55 going from here to here, so where's A at? 32 minus 55, gotta go backwards, 55. Which is like negative 23. Okay. The other things you need to know, I didn't write it down, so you're just gonna have to take notes yourself. Is you need to know what the vertical angle theorem says, which is basically if two angles are vertical, then they are congruent.
Can you say that again?
The vertical angle theorem, which says something like if angle A and B are vertical angles, they are congruent. You need to know the definition of congruent angles and congruent segments. Definition of congruent angles and segments. The definition of supplementary and complementary. Supplementary, for example, would be like if angle A and B are supplementary, then angle A plus angle B equals 180. That would be something like that. And the transitive property is also on here.
So definition of congruent segments.
Congruent angles. Also. Huh?
Is that it?
Almost. One more. Almost.
Do they think the relative properties in the
No, you don't have to have those memorized, no. I skipped one, I forgot what it was. Wait, or did I get it all? Hold on. Oh, transitive property, I said that one already. Okay, there is I put a little tiny proof on there. Guess what line 1 is on the proof? Given.
So it's congruent segments, congruent angles, what else?
There's gonna be a little proof on that. And the definition of complementary.
So we need to know the
No, basically the stuff that I said already is what you need to know for that too. You can beat it. You just need to beat it by a lot.
Yeah. More than the first grade.
Yeah, if you get better in the first grade, your grade goes up.
I go to Carl today.